The Sonic IDW comics are fast approaching their 60th issue, and along the way there have been some incredible story arcs, such as the Revenge of Neo Metal, where during the last days of the Eggman War from Sonic Forces, Eggman worked in secret to make Metal Sonic his final and greatest weapon. Neo Metal, however, ended up not being finished in time and resulted in him taking over the remnants of Eggman's army and leading an assault on Angel Island. Or what about the infamous Metal Virus arc? Quite possibly the most well-known arc in the IDW run. Eggman creates a virus that turns organic matter into metallic matter while also giving them zombie-like traits. This arc gets pretty dark as many of our heroes fall while selflessly trying to save civilians. With the virus getting out of hand, Sonic must make an unlikely alliance with his greatest foe. The stories IDW have given us have been nothing short of entertaining, and I honestly think it's the best depiction of Sonic and his friends that we've ever seen. There is an arc, however, that has yet to make an appearance and one that I'm really hoping we see in the future. See, recently I've been watching a lot of anime that I missed out on when I was younger. There seems to be a reoccurring arc in a lot of these shows that I've been watching, and I think that placing it within the IDW Sonic comics could elevate the already great storytelling. I'm of course referring to the tournament arc. Sonic is no stranger to tournaments. As early as 1996, Sonic was in Sonic the Fighters, placing him in a tournament where he would duke it out with his friends and foes alike. Beyond that, Sonic has been in a ton of other tournaments. Take for instance Sonic Freeriders, where he teamed up with Knuckles and Tails to take home the first place prize while also defeating Eggman and Metal. Or what about the time Sonic would race against his Sega friends, not to mention Wreck-It Ralph and Danica Patrick? I mean, Sonic is so competitive, this man is out here playing tennis like he's John McEnroe.
The ball just came up all over.
No, it was a bit of a spread, Mr. McEnroe. That was a good call.
Excuse me?
That was a bit of a spread.
Look, you can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious! That ball was on the line. Chalk flew up. It was clearly in. How can you possibly call that out? How many you can miss?
While Sonic is clearly no stranger to the tournaments in the form of video games, there hasn't really been any in the IDW comics or any shows, unless you want to count the Chow races, but seeing as that was, exclusive to the Chows, it's off the list. One of the fun things about tournament arcs, at least from the shows I've watched, is that you're not only focusing on the main character, you get to witness side characters shine, and perhaps introduce some new characters along the way. A lot of game journalists like to complain about how many side characters there are in Sonic games, but honestly, I'm quite fond of them. It's like the Brady Bunch, but with colorful creatures instead. I would guess that the team over at IDW enjoys all these characters as well, since they not only feature Sonic's friends often, but created so many new ones that feel like they fit perfectly in his universe. Having a tournament where all these characters could be given a chance to show off their abilities would be a lot of fun. See, when I was younger, I watched the Teen Titans a lot. It was one of my favorite shows at the time. There have been several episodes that stuck with me as I got older, and I think about them when I'm reminded of the show. There's a weird episode where Beast Boy has to fight off alien tofu, or an episode where they chase Mad Mod around with music playing, but perhaps what is one of the most memorable to me is an episode called Winner Takes All. In this episode, an unknown villain takes a bunch of superpowered individuals and makes them fight each other one-on-one tournament style. And what I always found cool about this episode was that we got to see matchups we wouldn't have thought of, as well as characters that were mostly left in the background. We got to see Speedy face off against Aqualad, Cyborg facing Gizmo, and so on. The concept of tournaments, it's a simple one, right? But it can be very entertaining. I mean, just imagine how cool it would be to see something like Tangle and Whisper, and they team up to take on Espio and Vector. It's a matchup that we wouldn't really think about, but it could be very entertaining. And I mean, bring all his friends. I mean all. Let's see Big and Froggy take on someone like Rough and Tumble, But given the nature of comics, and especially IDW Sonic, I don't think it's too far-fetched to see something happen where Sonic and his friends, possibly even his enemies, are tossed into some crazy tournament. That's one of the great things about this IP. You can do almost anything with Sonic and his friends, and it wouldn't feel out of place. To me, and I'm sure others, Sonic feels like an anime character. He has his Super Saiyan power-up, and the character carefree attitude till he faces a foe that pushes him to his full potential. Ever since the moment I saw the intro to Sonic CD, I knew this little blue dude was essentially an anime character, which would make it all the more fitting for IDW to include an arc where Sonic gets to compete in some sort of tournament, which also leads me to my next point. I think that it would be beneficial to both companies if IDW and Sega seek out an animation studio to do a series for the IDW Sonic. Much like a lot of mangas get animated, I think that Sega and IDW would have the potential to make Sonic a lot more popular than he already is by turning the IDW run into an anime. I know Sonic Prime is currently out and a lot of fans are really enjoying it. I myself am enjoying it as well, but I can't help but to think that it could reach a wider audience by following the IDW stories and being a little bit more mature. I know many Sonic fans are fond of the Sonic X anime series, and I think that Sega would be surprised by just how many people they would please by giving us a 2D animated series. At this point though, I feel like I'm just rambling my shower thoughts, and I really want to thank you all for the growth that I've seen on this channel. It's been incredible, and I owe it to each and every one of you. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and guys, stay tuned. I have some awesome videos in the work, and I think you guys are really gonna enjoy them. So with that all being said, take care, peace.